What's up, YouTube? I figured I'd give you a quick little video real fast, just a short one. Right now I'm prepping the cabin before I start actually putting the wood in the truck itself. So I've already put foam on the other side inside the fender wells. This side has nothing, so that's that side. It's that side. Now mind you, it's still curing. There's still a lot of spots for me to put it in. But just to give you a before and after of the roof before I do any wood, I just put this foam in, so it's still slowly seeping out some of the small holes I left for it. So you see, got a lot of resonance in those panels. So had a little oopsie today. I put a whole lot in one fender and didn't cover one of the holes, and got about a whole can's worth of foam that got wasted. Right now I'm sealing up all these rails, all the gaps in between, with foam before I put the wood roof in. I know it's probably not going to make that big of a difference, but I figure while I have the truck apart, I might as well do every little thing I possibly can to strengthen the chassis. And that is what I am doing right now. So I'm going to continue spray foaming every single void in the entire truck to the point that it's solid. I know it's going to be sealed off at the B-pillar, but I don't want any type of vibration or flex back here in the back. It's going to be 8/18s or more possibly, so on a lot of power, so there's going to be vibrations and rattles you can't get rid of, but the goal is to make every bit of the pressure go to the front. So having it sealed off really well at the front, having the roof and the B-pillar forward built really well, and the floors built really well, that's going to make all the difference. But these little small changes, you might see a 1/10 of a decibel or two, but it's more so just sounding good on the outside, not sounding like the whole fucking truck is just ripping apart. I mean, it's going to sound like that no matter what, but trying to do little stuff that I can to make it that much better. I'll come back in with another video once I have more progress. So when I start the actual enclosure, I'm going to start by doing wood on the floor. Reason being, I know you really can't see anything right now. The reason that I'm going to do the wood on the floor first is, for one, how do you build a house? You start with a foundation, right? Same thing with the wall. I'm going to put a couple pieces of plywood back here to determine how high up I need to build my platform that's going to go on the back seat floorboard there to support the wall up front. And in doing that, I'm going to be actually putting the wood around the fenders in all these little nook and crannies, right? Because my goal is to use every single bit of square space that I have available. So what I'm going to do is, the floor is going to be 3 to 4 layers thick, probably about 3. I'd imagine it's going to be 3 layers. Mostly the back wall is going to be 5 layers, the baffle is going to be 5 layers, but the floor, 3 is fine, the roof, 3 is fine, the sides, I'll do 3 to 4. And the way I'm going to do it is similar to Derek Haddock at Sundown. I'm going to put a piece of wood along the side here, mounted with PL glue and self-tapping screws into that. It's going to go over the top of the fender there, and then I'm going to put another layer a little bit higher up that's going to go with the contour of the window, and then I'm going to layer it ever so much out a bit further to start to compensate for that little bit of a curvature that's there. I've already done all my measurements. Inside of the fender well to the inside of the fender well is 50 1/4 inches. If I'm able to build out as far as I'd like, it's going to come up to around 60-ish inches in width from the back of the B-pillar all the way to, I think I measured just about right here behind the fender. It comes up to 82 inches in depth, and that gives me another 16 to 18 inches of depth before it gets to the very back right here. So that'll still give me room to close my hatch if I go to right here. So I have plenty of room for my protos and plenty of room for my amps I'm going to put in the back. But a lot of work ahead. I mean, it's going to be a whole lot of foaming up every little void, doing the wood floor, then I'll be doing the wood roof. Who knows, I might not even do it in that order. The reason I prefer to do the floor first is so that I have that flat solid base to put my jacks on whenever I start doing the actual wood panels in the roof itself. I chose the wrong time to build a wall because wood is extremely expensive. I don't know if you guys have looked at the cost of birch lately, but it's pretty ridiculous. It really is. I'm probably going to go with just some radiata pine. Just find some good grade pine and do that. I might do like my final layers, like the interior of the enclosure itself that you can actually see. I may do those out of pine. I'm sorry, birch, but I haven't decided yet, because if I paint it solid, you're not going to be able to tell if I did pine or if I did birch. It's not really going to matter. The main thing is just going for quality wood that's not warped, that's not chipped all to hell. But tons and tons and tons of work still to come. If you only knew how much Vibraflex I bought. That's going to go up front in the firewall and the floor. The roof is going to be wood, but when it comes to the floor and the firewall, we're talking like 5 or 6 layers of Vibraflex. I bought a lot. I got a good deal on it, so took advantage of it. I definitely am going to have to do some suspension upgrades, because in wood alone, I'm thinking it's going to be 25-ish sheets of plywood. Let's just say it's 65 pounds per sheet. It's going to be quite a bit of material and weight, not counting the subs that are like 70 pounds a piece, having 8 or 9 of those, plus all the Salt 8s, the Salt 500.4s, all the door speakers, all the tweeters, all the extra stuff that goes into it. This thing's going to weigh a good bit, so definitely going to end up having to do some upgraded springs in the rear at the very least. At some point, this truck will not be driven to the distance shows. It'll be towed. I'll drive it to all the shows within like the Georgia, like, you know, North Florida area. But when it comes to driving to, to Virginia, 10 hours away from here one way, I'll definitely be looking to tow it. So, well, that was my TED Talk. Appreciate you listening in. I'll have another update video here in about a week or so.